possibly his best showing we've ever seen is what we're witnessing here right now. Welcome back to the channel, folks, for the deciding game in the semi-finals from the Denmark LAN. Wham versus Beasty, and it comes down to this. Frisian Marshes, a French versus Ottoman matchup. Ottomans, at least on paper, you'd favor here. I mean, Janissaries, how can you not love them up against French Knights? And the map, seemingly good for Frisian. A map that leans more defensive, something that a civ like Ottomans historically takes advantage of. Let's see if he takes advantage of it in this game, because it's going to start off with Wham's aggression. A Dark Age Rax opening to try and pressure onto Beasty's side. And no surprise either, look at Beasty's spawn. It's a double Ford gold. Nothing is safe for this man. Well, this is a greedy approach, but I kind of respect it. Wheelbarrow and 6 on the gold, meaning he'll be able to get the tech and the age up gold necessary before being pushed off of this. Yeah, great read, actually. It's been coming a little bit too fast for him to just pull away when the wheelbarrow comes out, right? Like, I mean, you could technically wait here, 20 seconds, harass the spinman away. It would be tight, though. I think the goal here is like you're walking back by the time you're 10 seconds away from wheelbarrow. So then you at least get some efficiency on the walk back. Yeah, Beasty just trying to be as optimal as possible in this opening phase. In fact, he's even gathering additional gold here. Yeah, he's finally had to accept it. Like, I've got enough. It's not going to be enough for a night, but I don't think it ever was going to be here. So Beasty will back off. Wheelbarrow complete. Now just to gather the food. But Wham, village is being pulled though, so this is going to be an outpost rush to block the Ford resources. Yeah, it's not a bad one, but... Actually, no, this is great. He can hit both. I thought he wouldn't be able to with the arrow slits, but he can block both and force a reaction. Now, if you guys remember, a long time ago, when these outpost rushes happened all the time, there was an interesting reaction involving scouts from the French. They'd mass scouts to burn down the outposts. So they go scout archer, and then they just go pro scouts afterwards. Pro scouts is definitely desirable still for French, and it's decent on this map. Like in total, there is 20 deer, quite widely spread. I do wonder if instead, if he was looking to gather enough gold to get siege engineering, so that he could just go ram as an answer. Isn't the gold always fought on Frisian? Mostly. Sometimes you'll get it spawn where the stone spawns. So it has a little bit of variance there. But yeah, the goal with the redo was to stop the gold from spawning spaces like this, where you just can't rush it. Sheep count is going to be a little bit rough for Wham. 12 compared to Beasty up at 15. So Beasty with slight edge. There is some sheep left maybe in the center, I think. Both of them got their starting sheep, right? Yeah, so we haven't got any whoopsie, because usually you spawn like 5 around this area. You don't want to miss out on. This matchup's been crazy recently. Oh, agreed. French Ottomans has been delivering, man, because like it's weird because an Ottoman player is meant to be like, yo, late game is my groove. I get Janissaries. I have like great bombards. I want to be there. But in actuality, what we've been seeing is actually French with Guildhall Scale Point, with Knights and Arbitrary. Like, they do a decent job of contesting Ottos in that hyper late. It does come down to gold access. There's also 2 civs that I think are kind of on even footing when it comes to trade. You just never see it because Ottoman players never go for it. Remember, there's a trade bags tech that just always gets overlooked. And Minaret Madrasa to be expected. The trade network just fell off. It's been overrated the whole time, to be honest with you guys. There was a time where people were really trying to force the trade landmark, and it just didn't make sense. I'm glad we've just returned to sanity here, because Minaret Madrasa allows you to burst the castle if you want to, arguably quicker than the trade, but it also allows you to get into mass units because you have the extra food. Now, there are some situations where the trader makes sense. The trader makes sense when you have no gold access, because then you need some to get a ram, or you need it to gradually get a tech up, whatever it is. Wow. 5 on the stone. This is just military schools, right? This isn't 2 DC. You know, it actually might be. 2 DC against Ottos. Okay, thank goodness. No, it's military schools. Whew. Yeah, like 2 TC against 2 TC also against French would have been a little bit funky here. I think you just give way too much of the map to Beastie if you do that. Like, he could do things like go on to shoreline fishing with the cheap mills to just buff himself up. Stone. Still being gathered. But Wham doesn't have enough for the second military school yet, that's why. He just got enough. But he's still going? I mean, he needs to produce units at a decent pace. I think he's going to stay here and gather what he needs to the extra military school in prep of pulling away. No, there you go. Okay. It's just for the fortifications, right? Yes. There you go. Still, a weird number to stop on because he got arrow slits. He doesn't have fortification, which is a 100. And he could have had another military school for 150 total. It's like, maybe he just goes for the military school? The worrisome detail about just going for the military school is that this outpost is quite easily killable. And wow, Beastie, he goes all the way out of the base. Spear Sipahi strong. Sipahi have been looking really good ever since people got over the risk. You know, for a long time, I think Sipahi is a unit that many players have been scared of because if you lose it, the game is over, right? But you could argue that of any unit. Instead, your focus should be, what is the risk-reward ratio? What can I do with Sipahi that I can't with other units? What you can do, if you're actually on point with micro, is essentially hit units without them ever hitting you in return. With the extra range. It's quite crazy. Yeah, Sipahi are like very underrated as a raiding unit. It's different than a knight. A knight is like, I have one, I go in, I kill a worker. With Sipahi, it's like, okay, by the time I have 6 or 7 of these, they're going to be quicker to raid in than knights. The body blocks are going to be sick. And if I get body blocks and activate Fortitude, my DPS is that of a knight against villages. It's that good. Knight Spear for French, it's not as good. So the issue with Knight Spears from French is that your spearmen and your knights will fight over each other to do the same job in the same position. The thing that makes Sipahi Spears so good for Ottomans is that these two synergize. Like the Sipahi and the spearmen, they synergize. They don't contradict because of the extra attack range. So, like, you already have that issue, and then, as has been highlighted, you could even then just start adding in archers if you really felt threatened as Ottos. Because remember, like, the archers use the meta attack speed buffer quite well. And that's also another thing, by the way. If you go spear plus knights, like, genuinely, I don't think you need the archers. I think Sipahi Spearman wins that because you just switch melee armor, and then you just A-click. Because if your opponent only has those type of units, and they're not outnumbering you, which they shouldn't mathematically be outnumbering you, then you just get to activate Fortitude. And Fortitude, with that 50% increase in damage, like you're hitting for, what, 18 damage into a unit that hits for 19. French are at a disadvantage here by default. I think you play Archer Knights, and then you just focus on raiding and then bring your archers into the equation later. So, like, your goal, usually as French, is going to be to use your knights, your early ones, to poke raid, like he's doing here. And then eventually you get Chivalry, you pull back the injured, and then you focus on the main fight around, like, 20 minutes. You just got to be careful not to spam too many knights, because, remember, Ottomans will eventually get Janissary, right? But, like, for French, they're kind of surprisingly effective. They play more of a macro game here. Because if their timing is good in a guild hall, it means their timing into Imperial can usually just beat Ottomans. Poor man's knights here trying to raid in. Does catch him trying to build double archery. Now that is interesting. A bait from man, maybe? Or an intent? He switches it up. Yeah, it was definitely double archery, right? Instead, he's going to go racks and stables. Okay, that's sick, because look at what Beastie done. He's like, okay, he's got archers? Fine, more knights. That was a sick bait and switch. And it's on the back of the base. Now that there's troopers here, Beastie's unlikely to go back there. It's not like it was knights, it was horsemen. Horsemen need a lot more time to get any kills, so like you don't want to keep focusing on the same location. You want knights for that, because they can just keep coming in, and if you catch someone not looking, it's instantly a kill. Sipahi looming here. Not really at dive point. He has got the undermesh, but without the meta, without the ranged armor, it's not worth it. And we also have a sneak out here. Wow, I'm looking onto the ponds. Beasty, however, has done something a little bit surprising here. Went for the dock play. Was not really expecting this out of French, but we've been seeing it once or twice on this map. It's just in this format, it looks a bit out of place. The reason you do this, guys, is that your docks actually only cost 100 wood, not 150. Remember, a dock is a house. It's just a very tanky house, actually. So this gives you the 10 pop space, meaning you're just spending 100 wood. At that point, it's worth it to get the shoreline fish with the fishing boats on top. Horseman trying to play cute there. Did not get a worker kill. Now, outpost is still in effect, by the way. So Beastie is still playing a dangerous game out here on the gold. The good news is that Wham isn't really going for a kill point on the gold. If he was, you probably would have seen some archers earlier, some spears alongside it to get a ram going. Wham is instead focused on mass bulk Sipahi into big fight. Maybe the spinman count a bit ambitious. It's always awkward because you look at this and go, well, that should be enough spears, right? Not really, because the problem is when you engage, you're going to lose several of these spearmen to the archers. Initial point of contact is the tricky part for Wham here when you're up against archers. However, with the stealth forest with good positioning, if the Sipahi strike archers first, it completely changes the affair. Beastie. He is hunting for targets, but his outposts make it difficult. Vizier Point did go towards the military school, and Wham is going towards castle. Sipahi, in the meantime, do find the golden target. They catch the archers. Spearman following this up now. Sipahi just need to rotate around, but BC's positioning is good. However, he bails in the end. Leaves the archers to their fate. Okay, great fight now. Wham, he has 15 spearmen remaining. There's practically no archers for Beastie. And check what he's doing. The body blocks. He's allowing the spearmen to catch up here, forcing Beastie to keep committing with the A-clicks. However, Beastie does get a decent chunk of the knights away. With Chivalry, that's going to be important. So crucial that he cuts him off before he gets back in heals. But right now, Wham, looking to bring this doggo to heal. You can see he's steering. The problem is if you engage now, you've got a lot of injured Sipahi that are probably going to die. The longer you wait, the worse it gets. Yeah, because now, look how far away the spearmen are. Has to block a few. Let's get a stab at it. If we can get another kill, it'll be worthwhile, but unfortunately not able to. Yeah, oh no, he put the scout in the formation. So Sipahi did get slowed down temporarily. Nicely played. Gets the extra hit. And reminder, folks, while Wham was just winning this fight, look at his economy. He's leveling up. Yeah, Castle Age now coming through. Well played timings, actually. Mehmed Imperial Armory now on the way. A little bit of raiding on the flanks. And wait, what happened? Oh no, was it the fish? Okay, Wham may have won the main engagement, folks, but he lost the economy. That's crazy. That's actually wild. Apologies, we were focused on the main engagement as Wham was as well. He ends up losing 7 workers to the raids. Unbelievable. And not just that, the tech up gets slowed down. That's ridiculous. A 21 worker lead now for Beastie. It was all going so well until you look back at the economy. And somewhat inflated for Beastie, right? He has got 6 fishing bows, but it's still 54 raw workers versus 40. Beastie starting to posture as he does see that tech up. Keeps trying to delay it. Feels too late to delay it, though. I think his only play now is, like, you just mirror the tech, maybe. He'll look to attack first because your opponent has teched, right? If your opponent is teched, it means he's weaker militarily. And you do have knights to take advantage of that. Oh, man, he is hard committing. We've got rams. Where is he building those rams? Oh, no, it's for the gold, isn't it? Yeah, because remember, this game has been going on 15 minutes, and the outpost rush lasted 15 minutes. It never got taken out. So, yeah, he went siege engineering just to recover. Oh, my God. I feel so bad for Wham, man. This game looked pretty solid. And then that one raid, it seems, that just stripped away the workers has changed everything. Wham will at least get his vets in while BC hasn't aged up yet. But, you know, with the shoreline fishing, which he could actually rush down if he needs to here, he'll get a reasonable tech timing still. And Spearman now vetted. This is where BC's probably going to think twice about diving, right? Like, it would be kind of weird to dive vet spears. Yeah, so he just hugs the edge of the base and starts to poke grass. Because Wham actually doesn't have the second part of his component, this composition here, right? The Sabahi are far away. And no, the Knight! It's happened again! One Knight to unravel it all. Wham, the gold on the front side. He wasn't feeling safe about it, so he split his efforts between 2 different locations. From 9 to now 12 villages. And he's hunting and... Wham. Let's maybe not do that. What? Okay, I'm glad it's just one stopping off because, good God, remember, like, BC has archers. Wait, no. He walked straight into it. Oh, everything's going to be revealed now. Not just that, the second wave's coming for more. It's just going from bad to worse. Wham, now down by 30 economy. Rural Institute on the way. Beasty, he smells blood in the water. He's not looking to play for that Guildhall timing, that late game that we talked about where French can consolidate. No, he sees weakness and he wants to take advantage. And Wham, in desperation, commits the Janissary point. We've got Janissary companies. Remember, this spawns 2 Janissaries per military school, but it is a one-off maneuver. A one and done. No long-term value. PC is out of position. Needs to get the army home. Knights are on the way. Veterancy's queued up. Wham has an opportunity to strike here, but what he really desperately needs is some eco kills. Easier said than done, though, I'm afraid. Archers are just going to get dove by the spearmen. You know, vet spearmen, so they can win. Backstab coming in from the Knights, though. Veterancy's about to kick in a few seconds. Beasty just needs to avoid losses as much as is possible. Janissaries just too slow to get involved, it seems. The Knights, now upgraded, continue to stand their ground. Every time the Jannies show up, Beasty will pull away. This is the weakness of this unit. On paper, a solid counter. In reality, how do you ever reach him? Beasty just playing a big old game of dodgeball at this stage. Dodging the cojones that Wham is swinging towards this base. Oh, man. Has to feel exhausting, demoralizing in a way, the way that this played out, right? Like, I imagine Wham was on top of the world with the micro in that battle, like critical battle in the center. But then, the losses that he realizes after the fight. I mean, I wonder actually how long it took him to realize what had truly happened, how many had actually died. That's got to be the most painful part of all. Archer ship, funnily enough, coming out here. We'll just get sniped down. It's not too important. Tries to get cute with it, not going to work, but in the meantime, BC has bought enough time that all upgrades have come through. Knights are also sniping reinforcements. They can go for the mango. That should be a free kill. Yeah, it even has extras coming out. I mean, interesting to send archers into a mango, to be honest with you. But whatevs. If it works, it works. And Beasty, okay, have you not killed this man enough? Like, he's down by almost 30 economy. Can we have a little bit of mercy here? Leave the Ottoman peasants alone. Oh my god, if he was on the front side of the base as well. Like, this is the crazy thing. His eco is kind of safe because it's actually playing in exposed areas right now. When it should just be dead. Knights are going to go in onto the primary tree line. And answered in kind by Wham. As he looked to go into the base. Gotta be careful, though. The meta is now getting target fired by the TC. Archers and Arbitraries should be able to stand their ground against this. There'll be losses, but they should survive. Yeah, and the village is the thing that you need here if you're Wham. Goes after a few now, but now it's Janissaries left against the primary town center. That's going to be death. Sipahi will leak over onto the woodline, however. Meanwhile, the Knights didn't quite realize at first. Yeah, the workers mostly got out there from Wham. Okay, so Wham, like, great attempt, but guys, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Maybe 8 worker kills in total. And he lost full military advantage. He's now pretty much wholly reliant on Janissaries. Worrisome as well, because Beasty is skilling Arbitraire. Now, Arbitraire do not hard counter Janissaries like they used to, because Janissaries specifically take bonus damage from archers now. But your opponent also already has archers. So a little bit of a shaky position here. You also did just reveal primary army to the outpost. And whoa. Oh, wait, what? Can anyone else smell the potential miracle? Economically, this game looked like it should have been over. But Wham keeps slipping in these small little trickle groups of troops to do some damage. More of them on the way. And also, guys, remember, this is Beasty with Royal Institute. And apparently, the education doesn't exist for him. He never got bloodlines. He's blocked off of gold. He's also farm transitioning. There's a lot of negatives right now for Beasty. My god, if Wham just knew about this corn play, the havoc he could wreak. Instead, Beasty's going to lead him on an expedition across the map. Unfortunate. If he could just find them. And no, Janissaries do not take bonus damage from garrison towers. Reminder, they used to have a detail that said they took 50% more damage from ranged. That was changed. Janissaries now specifically are counted by archers, because archers have got this tag right here. Light gunpowder infantry. Janissaries are classed as light gunpowder infantry. Yeah, they actually have a very long title, which involves a lot of counters. They are light range gunpowder. That's a lot of counterpoints. Sipahi? No. No way. No way. Is he actually going to get away with that? Beasty, he gathered the stone for a castle here and somehow doesn't die for it. Wow, still lost a few workers, but ultimately the big chunk gets away. Got a lot of pings coming out here. Wham just keeps sending it in, but the castle drops should now start to stabilize Beasty's position in the corner. There is a concern, though, and that concern is gold. Wham has the right idea. I love that he's not being greedy about this. You just need to keep gunning. I would, however, like to see slight greed, and that would be for the imams. And wait, he's going a Kinji? Why do we have a Kinji? They're good at raiding economy, I guess. Just an unexpected choice here. Reminder, a Kinji is the double shot horse archer that the Ottomans have. Very, very slow attack speed, though. Feels like a super close game. That's because it is. If BC can just find the gold, find a tech up, get a red palace here on the front, very different affair. It's so difficult to do, especially now with Springolds. You have to snipe these first, because Springolds are actually secretly villager killers. When you see a landmark being built and you line up correctly, you kill 10 villagers in a salvo from 4 of these. It's ridiculous. Well, you would if you actually had Steeled Arrow. A little bit weird, actually, that he doesn't have Steeled Arrows Ottomans at 25 minutes. But he didn't go for archers, remember? He goes for the primary TC. That's crazy. Crazily slow. Yeah, this is not impressive, guys. He has about 11, 12 torch units. So it takes a very long time. Beasty. Oh my god, the Knights, they went in again! Wham is it? Screw this point! He's gonna be the one screwed for it! Dives past now, but Beasty backs away intentionally. He's happy. He knew what he'd done there. He knew exactly what he was doing. The Knights at the back find so much value in a close game. Puts Beasty almost 30 workers ahead again. The Springolds all sniped out, and now the rush out from the defenders. All siege gone. Janissary crossbow remaining against mass archers. That is as bad as it gets. I mean, that has to be it. Wham has tried so many miracles here. So many rabbits pulled out of the hat, but this series, this miracle recovery arc, looks like it is going to come to a bitter end in game number 7 for Wham. Your heart goes out for him, man. Beasty just entering full cockroach mode, especially with these villagers. I think these villagers were the MVP. Getting the stone for the keep just ensured that your options were limited. You had to go through the town center because there's nowhere else to go. And he knew he had to go soon because somehow Beasty's getting stoned, which means somehow he's going to have another castle. That's not just the defense, remember. For the French, they get these cheaper. They only pay 810, but they also discount. They make everything you build cheaper. Just a double whammy to the crown jewels, really. Wham. Just screw it. Might as well see this one out. Looks like what he's thinking is Imperial. Can't say I blame him. Difficulty is how you survive getting Imperial. It's very different between these two seers rushing him. If French rush him, it's always with a Red Palace. If Ottomans rush him, it's always with a university. Doesn't sound as scary, right? Unless you're scared of books. Has he gone for gold? Oh yeah, he's going for the big one. 9 villages as well. A little bit light on the build. There is a risk there. But I think BC's being very calculated about this. He's like, okay, there's a risk, but if I send 20 villages out and Wham's army's there, I lose all my eco lead. So he'd rather send a small group. He's essentially weighing up the risk, you know? It's like when you invest in stocks, you shouldn't really be investing in one stock. Unless you got insider information, wink wink. You diversify. Because then, if the investment fails, you still have a home for you and your kids. Same logic here. If he put 25 villages, it will go up faster, sure, but if the strike comes in, he's just dead. That's right, guys. So anytime you play Age of Empires 4, really important you have 25% of your villagers on each resource. But KP, I don't need stone in Dark Age. Really? Because I'm pretty sure in the Dark Age, they killed each other with stones. Bludgeoned them over the head. You gotta think outside the box, my friend. Oh, it just feels like Wham's been put in a box here, man. Every time he thinks he can come out, there's just a trickle of troopers, and we're getting to a Beasty Classic here. The Horseman Rage phase. One of his favorites. Kind of crazy that he's chosen this before going Imperial, but he's aware of the risk that Wham could actually... He doesn't want to let him have it. Guys, please, keep your coins to yourself, okay? The only coin that I will accept is Khajiit coin. Okay? Wait, has no one actually created a Khajiit coin yet? I mean, there's a risk you get sued by Bethesda, but who cares? For the memes. Because then you, like, your marketing is easy. You go, Khajiit has coin, but do you? That's it. That's the sell. I'll take 50,000 Khajiit coin, please. Wham. Props to him, man. He refuses to be defensive. I mean, he kind of can't when he's this far behind, but stepping up an army like this after how it's gone the last 2 times, I feel like a lot of players would have just taken the tech up and hoped. Beasty, he's made the right choice. I think Wham was expecting Beasty to age up and he'd be able to catch him doing it just before he would. Instead, Beasty went 2 TC, mass army, he stays the age, but he doesn't look for the engagement. He's just killing him slowly in this game. Horsemen out onto the villages. I mean, how much beating can one man take? Apparently we finally have relics. Might be a little bit late though. Great Bombard's going to be coming out. If only Wham had this last time. Liz is here now. However, your opponent has a lot of archers. Springham's also coming. Interesting choice from Beasty. I'm not sure why. I guess it kind of kills Janissaries at a decent pace. And the Horseman from every side and every angle possible. Beasty slaps on in on him. The Horseman, they'll get rid of the Great Bombard. That's the biggest threat removed. Siege to fall as well. And Wham! A valiant effort. Possibly his best performance in an S-tier tournament. But it seems like it still was not enough. Beasty will hold. Wham will run tail tucked between legs for the third time from this base. And Beasty, absolute cinema with the backstab there. Starts queuing up the Horseman again. Wastes no time to march out. He understands now that even if Wham tries for a fourth endeavor, that was his best one. The Great Bombard was not able to break the French. No, the Great Bombard was not able to break the Serb. History might try to argue a bit back and forth on what really happened there, but the history of Age of Empires 4 tells no lie. Beasty, one push away from making grand finals. Archers lead the charge on their own. Not many knights to defend for Wham. Not much food income to build more knights. Archers now dive in, looking for the meta. They remove it. Horsemen are following this up. And Wham has nothing left. He's even being found out here on the food and gold. He's just being shuttered on any external resources. And Beasty, I haven't really seen that archer count move down. It's remained in the 30s. It's the high 30s at least, but... I mean, you trade what? 8 archers to kill off all this on rough count. That's it. There isn't even a reaction from Wham. It's happened. So close to the miracle comeback. But Beasty QT will be your grand finalist for the Denmark LAN.